All right, what's going on? AJ, let's talk sports. Hope you guys are having a great day. It's raining. It's pretty bad out here in Dayton, Ohio. 6 p.m. currently right now. So we're doing a pregame show, Ohio State versus Michigan. We're just going to go right on into it. The key matchups, spreads, over, under. Ohio State, they're both 3-0, which is surprising. But it's on Peacock at 7 o'clock. I think the game was supposed to be at 7:30. I think they might have pushed it back to 7:30 if I'm not mistaken. But the spread's 23.5. Over under 48.5. Give me Ohio State. Give me the over. I always pick over. You bums pick the under. As of right now, individual stats right here. 795 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, and YNT to Howard. And then Chiles, I don't even know how you say it. Childs. Might be Childs. Chiles. 891 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 7 INTs. Not looking very good on the TD-INT interception ratio for the Michigan State Spartans quarterback. Not looking that great, bud. He's not going to have a good game. Our defense is going to tear him up. But Judkins, 336 yards of 36 carries with 5 touchdowns. Jeremiah Smith, 281 yards and 4 touchdowns. I tell you, Jeremiah Smith might go off in this game on Saturday night, just letting you know. I was going to wait to drop this show on Saturday afternoon because I've been working and all that stuff, been busy, but we're all busy, right? Get the stuff done, get the job done, and do your thing. So the last time Michigan lost was against Boston College, and that just happened September 21st in Boston College. They lost 23-19. Not very good. So they're going to hope to bounce off that loss and do something. 73 degrees in East Lansing. It's going to be away for the Buckeyes. And I was just going to say a little stats, key figures, and key matchups, what to talk about here. 23.5, like I said. Now, Ohio State leads the series 37-15. Big Ten matchup. A lot of teams in the Big Ten. How many are there? Like 18 or 17? It's crazy. The key matchup here, the watch for the Buckeyes versus Spartans, is the Buckeyes rushing defense. Now, they rank 7th nationally in football, giving up only 66.7 yards per game and allowing only 1 rushing touchdown so far this season. Granted, they have a cupcake schedule, and I'll say it, I'm a Buckeyes fan. They've had a cupcake schedule so far, and Michigan State's only 3-1. Sorry about that. My bad. They're 3-1. They've lost. Players to watch out for. This running back game for the Buckeyes is intense, and it's crazy. And with Chip Kelly in there doing the offensive play calls, you gotta love it. So Quinton Judkins, and the way they move the ball, if you watched it on Fox Sports and all that stuff, and the analytics, how they're talking about, Chip Kelly uses the offensive linemen to move the players and block schemes to be able to get the running backs open lanes to run through. And Quinton Judkins and Trevion Henderson do that perfectly to a T. So far he's rushed for a season high 173 yards last week. That was against Marshall. And he's an Ole Miss transfer, topped over 3,000 yards career rushing at 3,061, included with an 86-yard TD, which tied for the 3rd longest in school history. And he leads Ohio State with 336 rush yards. We've already talked about that. Now, we got to watch out for the Michigan State Spartans defensive end, Chris Bogle. He's played a big role in the Spartans' 3-1 start, and he ranks tied for 3rd in the Big Ten with 3 sacks, and is 5th with 5 tackles for a loss. So Bogle had a team high 6 tackles against Boston College. So look out. They're going to put pressure on Will Howard. This Bogle guy, defensive end, that offensive line needs to watch out for him. Now, since beating the Buckeyes in 2015, the Spartans have lost 8 straight. They've lost 8 straight, and they've been outscored by the Buckeyes 313-75 through their first 4 games. And the Spartans defense ranks the FBS leaders in sacks, tied for 2nd with 15, and total defense 14th at 254.8 yards per game. So that's going to be tough. But it's going to be a matchup that Ohio State needs. We need this Big Ten matchup, and we just need to get better and better each week. We do start a little slow, and I don't like that. So hopefully Will Howard and company can start a little bit faster here in the first half. I'd like to have at least 25 to 30 points by half. Just saying. That's what I like to have. Now we're going to start doing some picks. College football pick'ems time right now. Oklahoma State taking on Kansas State. Now Kansas State just came out with a loss last week. They didn't look very good. But Oklahoma State versus Kansas State, the spread. Kansas State actually favored by 5.5. The over-under is 57.5. Give me Oklahoma State because I believe I got a really nice hope and belief in Ollie Gordon II for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. He has 258 yards and 4 touchdowns. Get you some tickets there, only $29 at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Utah, Oklahoma State lost as well. They both are coming off losses by Utah 22-19, but Kansas State got blown out at BYU. Brigham Young just destroyed them. And it's in Manhattan, Kansas, 69 degrees at kickoff. And that's going to be noon, big noon kickoff on ESPN. And give me Oklahoma State on the spread and the over. Well, that's going to cover because Kansas State's favored by 5. Next one, Louisville versus Notre Dame. That's going to be the first game on Peacock. And the next one will be your Buckeyes. So Louisville, undefeated, 3-0. Notre Dame, 3-1. Not as high as I always figured. Notre Dame's always ranked higher for some reason. I don't know why. But Louisville is actually not favored. Notre Dame's favored by 6.5. They are at home in South Bend. Total over and under 46.5. Player to watch for Louisville. I like to see the perfect show, the quarterback, however you say his name. He's 52 of 76, almost 1,000 yards passing, 850 right now with 8 touchdowns. So look out for the passing game of Louisville offense. And let's see, the last time they lost was last year against USC, Louisville, and then Notre Dame's last loss was against Northern Illinois when you saw the Northern Illinois coach crying and was all excited and all that stuff. South Bend, 77 degrees. Pretty nice for a late September afternoon. 3:30 is the game. Louisville, give it to me. And Notre Dame's going to lose for the second time. And let's go with Georgia, Alabama on ABC at 7:30. If you're not wanting to watch the Buckeyes, which I don't know why you wouldn't do that, but you SEC lovers are going to be definitely watching this one. Georgia, Alabama, both undefeated teams. Ranked number 2, Georgia, number 4, Alabama. And actually, Georgia, it's going to be a slight edge. Only a -1 spread. Total over-under is 50.5. Give me the over all day in this one. It's going to be a barn burner, boys. Georgia wins by 3 at Alabama. Beck is going to do pretty well. He's a nerdy-looking kid, but he's going to do good. Etienne's going to rush all over him, and Lovett's going to get a couple touchdowns against the Roll Tide. Are going to get rolled over by the Georgia Bulldogs, and I'd hate to say it because I don't like Georgia either. But in Tuscaloosa, 76 degrees down there, get yourself some tickets for $300. No, thank you. But Georgia covers, Georgia wins. Going to a Big Ten matchup. This is going to be our final matchup pick of the evening. Illinois taking on Penn State in Happy Valley at the same time on NBC. So there's going to be 3 big games, two Big Ten matchups, and a big SEC matchup at the same time. And you can watch them on Peacock, ABC, and NBC. And if you can do multiple screens, I'll do it, but I can't. So Illinois, Brett Bielema. When have we heard that name? It's been a long time since we heard Brett Bielema's name. But he's the coach at the Fighting Illini, and they have something proud over there in Champaign. I'm just telling you, pop the champagne bottles and pour them for me and drink a couple because Illinois is looking really good. And don't say Illinois because they'll smack you. All right, but they're in Happy Valley. Penn State's actually favored by a whopping 19.5. But I'd love to see Brett Bielema come in there in Happy Valley and whoop up on the Nittany Lions, but it ain't going to happen today, and it ain't going to happen tomorrow. So I will give them the spread, though. You pick Illinois on the spread because they're only going to win by at least 12. And they're favored by 19.5. Over-under is 47.5. It might be a good defensive battle. Give me the over, though, because I always pick the over, and I never pick that. Now, Drew Aller, 729 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 1 INT, looking really good. Singleton, Penn State Nittany Lions running back, 314 yards and 2 touchdowns. They're looking pretty well statistically, but they haven't came in to see Altmaier and Fegan and Bryant for the quarterbacks, the running backs for Illinois, and the wide receiver. In the Beaver Stadium, you can get them for pretty cheap for $22 if you're around Happy Valley. Illinois, their last loss was actually last year. They've been playing really well. They beat Kansas 23-17. They beat Nebraska at Nebraska, but it did go into overtime. But they're trying to turn the tide. But at University Park in Happy Valley, 66 degrees, a really perfect weather for some football tomorrow night. Looking forward to this one. I'm going to be switching back and forth for the Big Ten matchups against the Buckeyes and the Spartans. But I don't think I'll be able to watch it because I don't have Peacock. Who has Peacock? I don't know. Who has it? Anyways, but watch this one on NBC. I'm picking Illinois on the spread. Now, Penn State will win the game, but Illinois on the spread and the over of 47.5. And there you have it. And that's how we do it. And love you guys. God bless. Tip the waitress.